Well, hello and welcome back. My name is Rick Barker. I am going to be your host for this amazing event. And let me just go ahead and tell you some really cool things. For those of you that are here early, right above this video, you're going to get to download your worksheets. What's cool about the worksheets is they are PDF fillable, which means you can download them and fill them out right on your computer. During the presentation, Cheryl's going to walk us through this, so I'm super pumped and excited for that. Also, if you were invited by a friend to be here for this encore presentation, you should thank them, because at the end, you're going to go, holy cow, this is going to make all the difference in the world to your music career. So as you come on, I would love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are. And also, too, for those of you that stick around till the end, we're going to have an opportunity for you to get a bonus. Cheryl's created a really nice bonus for you. There's also going to be some really cool giveaways. Those giveaways, hey, Guy, what's up, man? I knew you would make it back. As you know, the giveaways are pretty cool. So, Guy, keep it secret, all right? You already know what they are, but we're going to help some folks out. So how do you get entered into the giveaways? It's real easy. You're going to see a cool little Facebook post below this video with 2 dogs on it. If you share it, you'll be entered in. And if you leave a comment, you'll be entered in. So the kind of comments that we want you to leave is, if you're getting any takeaways during the presentation, just scroll down, fill out what those takeaways and share it. And that will double your chances to win. We're going to do a random draw. We've got Robin here that's going to keep an eye on this for you. So super pumped and excited for that. So we're going to give people a couple minutes to get here. Make sure that when you download the PDFs, like I said, you can even fill them out right on your computer. So it's super, super cool for that. So, Guy, where are you located again? Tell me where you're at. Yes, you do know it. Give me a chance to get a sip of water while you fill that out for me. And I'm excited. You know, I always learn more the second time around. I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of times I get so caught up into what's going on. I'm taking notes. I'm doing a lot of things. This is going to give me an absolutely opportunity to do it. What's up, Igor? Igor is a client. He's from Croatia, and he did something super cool. He recorded his music. I think it's in 6 different languages, which is super cool. So I'm excited that we did this early enough for Igor to join us. What's interesting is when Igor comes on to our coaching calls that are at night, I'll always do his calls first, because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I love the commitment that you guys have. I love the fact that you are here, and I'm excited that you guys are watching this. So if you just got here, once again, my name is Rick Barker. I'm going to be your host, and I'm excited to bring Cheryl on here in just a few minutes. But you're going to download your guides, and where you get that is there's a little button right above where you can download the guide. Also, down below the video, you're going to see a Facebook post. If you share that Facebook post, you'll be entered into a drawing at the end. We've got a really cool prize for you. Speaking of staying until the end, if you get a chance to stay to the end, as you should, Cheryl's also got a really cool bonus for you as well. Fisu, hello from Buenos Aires. Good to see you here. We've got this international audience joining us. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Rick, your voice is nearly constant in the house now. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. So I hope that's not tripping anybody out, but always good to see you, my dear. You're welcome, Igor, for the nice words. I'm glad to be on your side, because what you're doing is something I would never have the ability to do. So that's super cool and exciting as well. All right, we're about 5 minutes away. If you haven't downloaded your handouts, you can either print them off or you can fill them out right on the computer. Cheryl's going to walk you through how to do that here in just a little bit. We've got some great prizes for you. We've got a bonus for you for sticking around till the end. And last night, man, we had a few hundred people that were with us last night. It was a lot of fun and a lot of great takeaways. As you start hearing things that resonate with you, fill those out and share those in the comments of the Facebook post, and that will give you multiple entries as far as being able to win the bonuses. Well, those are the prizes. The bonus is something really cool. Actually, I even downloaded it myself last night, and it's something that I do a lot. So always having another person's take on it is super, super cool. So get to know each other too. You know, if you guys want to share your Instagram handles in the chat, feel free to do that. If you're watching this right now um, and you're not commenting, bring it on. We want to know who you are. We want to acknowledge you for being here. It tells a lot about us, a lot about you to us, as far as the artists that are willing to go that extra step in order to make things happen. So super pumped and excited that you are here. Let me check some things out right now. Perfect. All right, good. So yeah, we've got a lot of people here right now making introductions. So we see we've got Argentina, we've got Croatia. Sarah, tell everyone where you're from, even though I know where you're from. Share it with the group so that they can get a chance to get to know you better. Guy, same thing. Feel free to take this opportunity to collaborate with your guest. Those of you that are just showing up, my name's Rick Barker. I'm going to be your host. Got a great presentation from Cheryl coming up here in just a few minutes. And what she's going to do is it's very interactive. You know, they always say if you get to write things down, it's going to make it a lot easier for you. Katrin, hello from London, England. So yeah, it's going to make it real easy to remember it. You know, I found myself last night. I'm one of those print guys, so I printed it off, and you can see I've got boatloads of notes. So there's a lot that's going to happen. Grass Valley, California. Welcome. All right, very cool. All right, well, we're going to get things started here in just a couple minutes, and I'm excited about that. Let me just check a couple things here while you're walking in, which makes it really good. We had fun last night. I mean, it was a good time, and it was super exciting for me to be able to be a part of this. And I thank Cheryl for allowing me to be a part of this because once again, uh, it's one of those things where sometimes we find ourselves getting comfortable in our situation, and this allows us the opportunity to be able to bounce ideas off of other folks. And that's something that Cheryl and I have done for a long time. Not only is she a songwriter, she's a composer, she's also had the opportunity to tour all over the world. What's super cool, those of you that are hearing about sync and licensing, Cheryl's been able to get 5-figure licensing deals. And what that means is over $10,000. She speaks all over the world. Her and I had a chance to physically meet each other at the DIY Musician Conference. She also writes a lot of music for social justice choirs. And that's really interesting because she was doing it before everyone's now really focused in on social justice. That's been a part of what it is that she does. And she'll share a little bit about that here in just a little bit. Recently, I was excited for her because she was number one on iTunes and Amazon in the genre of new age. And most of you know her as the email queen. She understands email better than most. And with her email list, she was talking in her groups about the Grammys. Her group decided to do their own fundraising campaign to buy her an ad. They raised over $5,000. Now, I didn't say she raised over $5,000. They raised over $5,000 to help her out. That's a lot of what she's going to talk about today, is that relationship that you can build with your audience. So she's an absolute rock star. I love being a part of her world. And it's crazy because her and I do things together, and I'm like the unorganized dude. She's like the organization queen, and you're going to see that. Those of you that are in her Amplify course know that already. Those of you that have done anything with her email program know that already. So I'm excited to bring her on for you. So Cheryl, if you want to go ahead and join us right now as I say hello to Dylan from Savannah. Lie Society's here. What's up? Welcome, my
Hello.
dear. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Thank you for this. This was, you guys, we did this last night, and I was like, there's no replays. We're not doing it again. And I mean, it's true, there aren't replays of last night, but we had some tech issues, and then we had people saying that they wish they brought their bandmates, and they want to see it again because it kind of I talk fast. And Rick was like, Cheryl, what are you doing tomorrow at 3 o'clock? And I was like, this? So thank you for being generous and being here again. And everyone that's here watching, I'm really excited you're here. I hope you're watching on the actual page because there's tons of buttons of great fun stuff. So I'm just going to put a little banner. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, that's awesome. But come to this page, inthekey.co/revealed. And you'll see all those buttons that Rick was talking about where you can download the worksheet. There will be some bonus things later on, opportunity to type in the chat box. I definitely want to hear from you guys. And of course, the Facebook post with the cute pooches where you can share and then win something fun.
Yes,
I tell them. We should probably.
Yeah, so Ban was one of our winners last night. So don't reveal what the prize is, Ban. We want to keep that secret. It's interesting because I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces from last night, which is super cool. So for those of you that aren't familiar faces, if you're at the inthekey.co/reveal page, right above this video, you're going to see your downloadables. Now you can download them and they're actually PDF fillable, which we found out last night because Cheryl does things the way people are supposed to do it. So you're able to fill it out right on your computer. You're able to take notes. She's going to help you go through that. So don't panic if you say, okay, they're blank. They're supposed to be blank. She's going to give you the answers to that. Also, she mentioned the Facebook post below this. We had so much fun with this last night. Share it right now. You'll instantly be entered in the drawing for the prizes. And then during the presentation, if you get these aha moments, if you hear something that you're like, wow, I know people need to hear this, type what those aha moments are in the comments, and that will get you registered again. And then Robin, who's working with us today, will randomly select. Because Cheryl and I have people that we're associated with. So we've given it up to Robin to say, Robin, you pick the winners there. So Robin will pick the winners. And if you're not picked, you can hunt down Robin. No, just kidding. Don't get on Cheryl and I. And then the last thing is there is a bonus for those of you that stick around till the end. There's a really cool bonus that Cheryl's put together that she's going to do for you. So super excited that you're here. Everyone, make sure you introduce yourself in the group so the others can collaborate with you. What's up, Angela? And I'm going to go ahead and step back, and I'm going to go ahead and watch and learn. And I'll talk to you guys during the Q&A. There will be a live Q&A at the end. So if you want to save your questions to the end, if we don't answer them, if Cheryl isn't answering them or Robin and I, we're not going to touch the Q&A until we get to the end because Cheryl is going to be the one answering those questions. So I'm going to step back. I'm going to stop my camera. I'm going to mute my microphone. And you guys, you're in for a big treat. All right. So I'll talk to you during the Q&A. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Rick. Oh, man. Rick is like one of the biggest, most generous mentors I have, and I'm so honored that he's hosting this. Also, he's going to tell you the prize for the sharing thing that we're doing at the end of my presentation because he's actually giving it. I mean, I am too, but it's super awesome and you definitely want it. I'm just going to say that. So I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for giving me your Monday afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are. And I can see your comments here. So if anything glitches, just let me know. But I'm going to turn my screen off and share a presentation. And of course, I will Rick and Robin are behind the scenes backstage and they're grabbing all your questions. So if something comes up, go ahead and just type it in. We'll pull that for later. And just get ready to type because I really want to see who's here and what you're resonating with. And I've got some questions for you. We're basically going to do like a personality quiz, essentially, but really an important one. So I'm going to swap my screen off and share this presentation. It's so pretty, you guys. So let me know if you can see that and if you can still hear me and everything's good. So basically, welcome. This is the Revealed, the 5-step roadmap to amplify your music career. So first of all, I'm saying the word revealed very specifically. It's not like this is something that we don't know already where we are, but what we're going to be doing is revealing to ourselves where we are and why it's important. And that's going to be the key thing. So here's what this is really based on. So this is based on, this roadmap is actually a circle that you go around. And occasionally you can cross from one to the other when you have to, because we are fluid. In a music career, you have to be fluid. But this is the foundation. This one little circle of 5 circles is the foundation of the work inside Amplify, which Rick mentioned, but this is my membership. It's not a course, it's not a program, it's an ongoing coaching community that is really designed to help you consistently level up in a way that matters to you. So, it's pretty damn magical. I'm just going to say that. So this isn't one of those webinars where I'm going to try to sell you $1 million course at the end. It's actually an inside peek into the work that we do in this membership, and it's so valuable. So yeah, it's worth $1 million, but don't worry, it's actually the cost of a tank of gas. But I'm going to show you how this works, and you'll get a chance to figure out which of these phases is you, why it matters that you know it, and how to move up to the next phase. And of course, I'll give you an opportunity to check out Amplify and get a few pieces of really valuable content, because I'm a big fan of giving you just a few, not overwhelming, a bunch of, you don't need new stuff to do. We just want to take what you're doing already and do it better and amplify it. So, and of course, we're going to give you a chance to win some promo. So this is what Amplify looks like. I don't know why I put this slide here, but that's what it looks like. So we're going to be talking about this. So I first want to just get everyone on the same page here. So I can say all of these things because I've been here. Does this sound like you? Are you an independent musician with lots of things to do, create, promote, monetize, right? Like all the hats. Are you someone who has an online following, but you're not actually making any money with that following? Because that's a thing. Or you're a composer, a producer, mixer, teacher, songwriter, someone, you do services for other people and you'd like more consistent customers. Or are you someone that's at the beginning stages of building your music business? Because that is also totally okay. Or you're a seasoned musician and you want to build a more sustainable music career around the music you make, which is also great. Or you're just overwhelmed with trying to figure out all the promotion stuff and would love a clear path. So I ask about all of these things because I have been in all of these places. So this is me. You already got the intro. I'm a musician and composer. I am also a trained career and life coach, which is kind of a funny thing. And I have a dog, and I am a wife, and I'm a beginner gardener, and I'm 763 days, that is erroneous, straight into a morning routine that includes meditating for at least 5 minutes and doing yoga for 5 minutes, which has been really great for me. So the musician success cycle is what we're talking about today. And I already sort of gave you this intro, but I have spent the last 10 years working with thousands of musicians on a variety of projects. Literally this time last year, I was in France in this big arena. There's 5,000 people in that top left picture about to sing a piece of mine. I'm speaking. I put on a musical, or wrote a musical. There I am with some choir. Oh, look, bottom right corner, little me and Rick Barker. And then on the bottom left is one of my meetups I did in Austin for the In the Key of Success, which is my branch of musicians resources that I've created. We're just having some fun. So I got to talk to a lot of musicians, and I'm excited about this presentation because I've learned some things for myself, and I'm excited to share them with you. So what the heck is a cat doing? The cat is reminding you to turn your phones off, your ringers off, because here's the thing. We get distracted so easily. That's actually one of the things we're going to talk about, and you're going to get a lot more if you can focus. Oh my God, I'm getting a headache watching this guy. So turn your ringers off, shut your email down, just be here. We'll be an hour. It's going to be super valuable. I promise. I promise. Okay, so moving forward, if you've got questions, we've got answers. Again, just put your questions in the chat box and we will gather those. So my goal for you is that you get a goal, and you set a goal and you get it with velocity. So velocity is an important word here. We hear about goal setting all the time, but we don't often hear this word velocity. So you can get your goals all by yourself, maybe by the time you're 120, right? If you're 120 years old, you've done a lot of things, but there's a thing around trial and error and taking your time to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And it can get a little stressful. So here's the other thing. Maybe some of you haven't even set a goal because you're not really sure, like, okay, what's a goal? I'm going to like keep releasing music and I'm going to just keep trying to make money with it, or I'm going to keep trying to grow my fan base. Like you don't know what is exactly like a goal that you should set. To tell you the truth, I don't love that word goal. I use something else. I'll share it with you later. But you might also just be plugging along, saying yes to the gigs that are coming up and showing up for you. And you're not being intentional about how your career goes. And that's okay too. We're going to talk about all that. So how is this time here talking about goals and actually maybe even setting one by the time this call ends, how is that different than every other time, the hundreds of times you've heard that word, that you should set a goal in the past? So here's how I think this is different. So for one thing, we're going to talk about how you can't figure out where you're going, aka the goal, without knowing where you are. You can't, right? So if you are saying, I want to go to San Francisco, what's the next exit I need to take? I need to drive to. Well, are you coming from New York? Are you coming from Canada? Or are you coming from Mexico? There are very, very different roads you need to be on depending on where you're coming from, and you don't know which way to go unless you've declared, I am here. So that's what we're going to do today. The other reason this is going to be different is because if you haven't had a Cheryl in your corner before, let me tell you, I'm a delight. So that's going to be different. When we talk about goals, we actually bring champagne into the picture. We'll get into that later. So let me tell you, there are so many different kinds of musicians out there. Some of them do the right things and some of them do a lot of things wrong. Email was one of those first big things I was like, oh, no one in the music industry does email the way it's supposed to do. And that's why I went down that rabbit hole, created an email course, realized that that was something really important to me, and it has paid itself over and over and over and over and over again for me throughout my entire 17-year independent music career. So after being behind the scenes for 12 years of my own career and digging into other people's careers, I've discovered three things. One, there is a much easier path to consistently leveling up. I used to feel that plateau of like, ugh, I don't know what's next. I've done all the things. So that's that feeling of ugh. It's a technical term, you guys. That feeling is you are ready to level up, but you're not sure how. The other thing I've learned is that it does not have to be overwhelming or all-consuming. The third is, with a right strategy, it can also be very profitable. So let's dig into all of these things. There is a hard way to do this, and I've done all these. Create a bunch of content, release it, and pray that people come when really it's like you and a Tyrannosaurus Rex doll, and then you struggle to keep up each month. Like this, like over a decade, this was my life. So I get the hard way of doing this. So I discovered there are two types of independent musicians, and there's one that you want to avoid if you're in this for the long haul, which I'm assuming if you're here watching, you are. So the first one is the hobbyist. This is the chart of where growth comes quickly in the beginning. So you get a good old shot of momentum and adrenaline, but it teeters out due to lack of knowledge, lack of skills, lack of strategy, and lack of support. So versus the long-term supported musician. So this is where there is consistent leveling up. There are supported structures. You are celebrating your wins. You are turning small opportunities into even bigger ones every damn day. And so what this looks like is getting to a phase, doing the work that you need to do there, and then be like, boom, it's time to move up. And then you rinse and repeat. So this is the big question. Do you want the easy way to create a sustainable music career? This is why we seek out courses and invest in conferences and coaches and programs, which is really, 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 really important. We are looking for the answer to this question. So I'm going to tell you a few secrets that might disarm some beliefs you have, and then we're going to get into defining where you are in your own musician's success path. So here are these three secrets. One, wearing all the hats at once is killing your career. Do you know what I mean when I say wearing all the hats? Write hats in the chat box if you are someone who is like, I'm trying to do all the things. I have 10 different projects and I'm doing 10 different things for each of those projects. If you are a hats person, and you guys, I'm a hats person. I get bored very easily. My first job out of college was scuba diving for the government. So I have made some pivots because I get bored. But what I have learned is wearing all the hats at once is killing your career. Who are my hats? Give me my hats. 2, the less you do, the more money you will make. This is not what we have been trained. We have been taught from a very young age that work hard, you'll succeed. Work hard, you'll succeed. Work hard, do a lot of stuff, lose sleep, you will make more money. You will succeed. We've also been taught that succeeding equals making more money. But let me tell you this. Rick in the introduction was telling you how I write for social justice choirs. I compose music for social justice choirs and have been for years. And 3 years ago, I got asked to write a piece of music that was based on a Martin Luther King speech, one of his more obscure ones where he spoke out against the Vietnam War and saying that it wasn't a not necessarily a civil rights issue, but a human issue. And it was called A Time to Break the Silence. So I have this piece called The Listening that's been performed all over the world. And right now there's a virtual choir of, I don't even know how many people, like 70 people that are singing it. It's this huge project. It's taking a month. We're doing sectionals and Zoom rehearsals and all sorts of things. And the person who's singing the solo is Martin Luther King's goddaughter. And I'm not making any money off this project. If I was, I'd be donating it. But to me, the fact that this song has come so far that it's gotten that attention is a huge success. So we have been trained that success equals money, and we don't get to decide what success means, but we actually do. So we're going to talk about that as well. Okay, the next secret. Oh, I missed it. Sorry. Oh, gotta go back. Next secret is you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going, right? Done is better than perfect. Taking that on with a vengeance. And who are my perfectionists? Perfectionists, right? Perfection in the chat box if you are one of my perfectionists, because girl, I see you. But this has really been transformative for my career. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. All right, moving on. So let's just dig into those 3 secrets really quickly. So wearing the hats is not a thing. So 2 thoughts about this. The first one about multitasking. We wouldn't want our kids, if we had kids, which I don't, I have a dog, but still, we wouldn't want our kids to be texting while driving. We wouldn't want our doctors to be like knitting while performing surgery. And we definitely wouldn't want our bankers to be playing Scrabble while counting our money, right? So why would we tolerate multitasking in our own careers? Why would we tolerate multitasking for our own passion, our art? This is our livelihood, right? So this is, yes, it's not brain surgery, but like this is important. So why do we tolerate it? So according to Matt Ritchell, who's a New York Times reporter and a Pulitzer Prize winning writer, learned that a conversation while driving takes 40% attention away from driving. 40%, just talking, not even texting, just talking. Also, there's scientific studies, so many of them, that prove that the more time you spend switching from one task to another, back and forth, the less likely you are to go back to the original task. So we are really, really screwing the pooch here, right? And you're never actually multitasking. You're always doing one thing at a time. It's just that you're transitioning a lot. And transitioning can take up to 30-40% of our day. The energy and the mind focus to go from one task to another is actually really detrimental, and is one of the reasons why we feel overwhelmed a lot. So the second thought in this whole, all the hats, why focus? We're going to be more stable, more productive, and less stressed, obviously. But the thought too is you can have it all eventually. You hear this a lot. It's supposed to be empowerment. Like, women can have it all. You can have it all. And my thought is, do we even want it all right now? Like, so I think about this, like, I would love a Grammy. That's a thing I'm doing. That's a thing my fans have known for like 17 years, that I want a Grammy nomination. I also think it would be cool to write a song that gets an Oscar. But I do not want the Grammys and the Oscars to happen on the same night. No one wants to change dresses and then run through LA from the Grammys to the Oscars. We want them to happen separately so we can change dresses. So essentially, the idea is that there are things to do and results that we can get from doing a variety of different things, from wearing a variety of different hats, but we can get them at different times and be strategic about how we get them, so that when we get one thing, it elevates and enhances the process of getting the next thing. So we're not always starting at zero. So like right now you might feel like a publicist. Maybe you're in promotion mode, right? Or maybe you're a performer, an artist, or are you creating right now? Are you a student? Are you playing the role of accountant because you're doing your taxes, right? So you have to do all of these things at some point. You're always learning. We're always doing these things. But if you do these one at a time, you can do them so much better. So I'm going to drop a little mic right now after this secret here. We're going to talk about secret 2. The less you do, the more money you're going to make. So this is kind of mind-blowing for some people. It's like, oh no, that can't be true. The harder you work, the more you do, the more money you'll work. So here's the mic drop. Oh, I keep thinking that this is going to be the slide, my favorite slide in the whole presentation. But let's talk about this. The number one reason why musicians quit, does anyone know? Anyone? The number one reasons why musicians quit music, meaning they'll make one record and then they'll never do any music ever again. Anything, any reason. There's any number of reasons why musicians quit. But the number one reason is overwhelm. We hear that word so often. I'm overwhelmed. It's too much to do, too little time, too little money, too few fans, not sure what to do next. Overwhelm. Okay, is this my mic drop slide? Yes. If you say, I feel overwhelmed, or I'm overwhelmed, what if you replaced it with, I'm not in action? Overwhelm equals inaction. Whew. So take that on for a second. Many of you will say right now, wait, no, I'm in action all the time. Are you that person? Are you like, no, Cheryl, you must be talking to the other people on this webinar. That's okay. I hear you. So I'm going to actually guess that you feel more busy than in action. So when you are taking actions that are aligned with your roadmap, with your success cycle, like these actions are actually part of a strategy with a clear goal, you glide through getting results. There is no struggle. So action to me, and this is how we sort of phrase this word in the Amplify membership, it means something different. It means something more powerful. So I would assert that if you've ever said, I feel overwhelmed, it's because you are not in action in the way you should be, aligned with where you are. And you're busy. I definitely don't doubt for a second that you are busy. And you're doing things and you're getting results. Yes, absolutely. You're getting movement. But what if that movement was on a different scale and with much more velocity? That's sort of where we're coming in here. So quickly, because we're talking about doing less means making more money, let's just very quickly touch on the 4 reasons people would buy from you, buy your music, or hire you if you're a composer, producer, mixer, voice teacher, someone that is hireable. So here are the 4 reasons people buy from you. 1, they want more from you, like the person. So get personal, whether it's with fans or music supervisors. Like, it is a relationship business. I know you've heard this before, but it's worth saying again. This is how I've transformed my email list to be able to pay for things in 48 hours, like an ad for Billboard magazine that I didn't even have to create a fan funding campaign for. It's because of the relationship, and they want to be involved with you. So they want more from you, but they want less options. Right? So just like you want less options. You just want to know what the right one is. So they don't need to know all the places to buy your music. They just need to know the place where they want to buy it. That one place. Like, a music supervisor doesn't need 100 options. She needs the right one. Right? So there you go. People also want speed and convenience. So make it easy for them to support you. So the best thing you can ever hear from a fan, what do you think the best thing a fan could say? Not, I like your music. That's what we want to hear. But the best thing you can hear from a fan is, how can I help? How can I help? If you have a fan saying, how can I help? You have done one thing right. You have been so clear on what it is you want that they're like, A, inspired, and B, ready to be in action for you. So that is... that's what you want to provide them. You want to make it easy for them to help you. You want it to be convenient, and you want them to be able to do it quickly. But this all comes down to the 4th reason why people buy from you. They want your clarity. If you are clear on what you want, then they are going to show up and pay for it. Really. My fans have known for 17 years that I want a Grammy nomination. And when I said, hey, my record right now is actually eligible to be on the ballot, I wonder if an ad in the Billboard Grammy preview thing would make a difference. I can't tell you how many emails I got being like, how much does that cost? Where do I pay? And that's how that went down. So that all being said, the clarity comes from knowing where you are. And that's what this musician cycle is. And we're going to get to exactly where you are in it in a minute. But the last secret here, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. This is so important. This is so important, you guys. I can't even emphasize on taking one action. So Pearl is someone who's in the Amplify community, and there's a lot of stuff here, but what I want to pull out is that she made 8 times her normal merch sales. Her band does a ton of merch sales during the holidays. That's like their thing. But she wrote in this email, I almost forgot about it entirely, meaning that she could send an email for Black Friday. But I pulled something together. Pulled something together does not mean I spent weeks on this and I hemmed and hawed. And it might even mean that she didn't even spell check. But she pulled something together and then made 8 times the normal merch sales. Like, talk about getting it done without freaking out about it, right? So she went from 0 to 300 email subscribers and then was like, oh, I have these people up. I should probably do something. And then on a whim sent this email that got them 8 times more money. She also got sponsored by one of the largest harmonica brands through pitching, which is using the perfect pitch course, which I'll tell you about how to get at the end of this. And then Wanda had a goal to get 100 subscribers in a week, and then she got 110. So, oh, and she also wanted to get $800 in the month, and then she ended up getting 870. So cool, she's growing her fan list, she's growing her income. But here's the thing, she is setting achievable goals, but they also light her up. So there's a fine line between setting a goal that lights you up and is totally a shot in the dark, and a goal that's like, I want to put my shoes on right today. Like, cool, you can achieve that, but like, how inspired are you by that? So this is what we do in Amplify. We are always talking about what's the next thing, what's the next milestone, what's the champagne win. So this was really exciting to celebrate her setting these great goals and then hitting them just enough that they were challenging, but you get some really good momentum when you are very skillful in picking the right goal. So we're going to talk about starting with where you are, specifically inside this musician success cycle. And just remember, you are always leveling up whether or not you feel it, right? We oftentimes let our feelings decide how our career is going. That's not true. So let's look at this for a second. The foundation of the work that we do in the Amplify membership in our careers and lives is this musician success cycle. And I created it when I was trying to articulate how I was suddenly getting crazy results. But when we unstretch this, yes, it's linear, but when you turn the cycle, the little circle thing on the left sideways, you're actually building on past experiences. So yes, you get to phase 5 and then you're going to phase 1, but you're not going back to phase 1. You're moving forward into phase 1, a different phase 1 based on the other stuff you've learned and how you're going to level up. And I'm going to talk more about what that actually means. So you're always within this cycle and within your career, but it's a spiral upwards, constant upwards. So you never get bored in this group because this is the work that we do. It's really kind of cool. So this is a really, really fantastic question. How do we know what's next? Who asks this? Like, I have so many things to do. I don't know which action. Like, so we associate the word prioritize with this question. How do we know what is next? Who are my people that is asking what is next? Just write next. next. If you've ever watched West Wing, that's what the president of the United States and the character always said at the end of an episode. What's next? I love a good what's next. That's kind of my jam. I live in the world of cool, now what? Cool, now what? But it can get stressful when you have a lot of options for what is next. So we want to remove the stress of what is next. And also just know you're going to get all the things done. But let's choose an order so that when you do one thing, it actually enhances the next thing. Kind of like dominoes. Do you know that a domino can push over 50% more of its weight? So you have a domino and then you have a bigger domino and 58 dominoes from a normal size domino, 58 dominoes, if you're doubling the size every domino, the 58th one will touch the moon. You guys, this is what you get in Amplify, a lot of random facts because I'm a massive dork. But anyway, so we want to look at our careers and the actions we have to take like dominoes, dorky dominoes. Okay, so let's quickly recap these secrets and then we're going to get into the musician success cycle. So 1, wearing all the hats is not safe. Multitasking isn't safe and you can have it all, just not right now. 2, the less you do, the more money you make. 4 reasons that people buy from you is they want you, they want less options, they want convenience and speed, and they want your clarity. So 3, you don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going. Just take one action. You never know what it can turn into, right? Like Pearl and her email. Okay, cool. So all of those come from trying to turn around old habits and old thoughts and old stories, right? Because those are keeping us small. And if you've ever felt stuck, have you ever felt stuck? I feel like everyone's been stuck, but maybe that's just me. If you've ever felt stuck, you're going to revert back to your default, those things that we've been taught that are not necessarily true. So we want to clear those off, put them to the side. So anyone in your head right now that's like, I'm stuck because of X, Y, and Z, put it to the side. You can have it back at the end of this webinar, I promise. But we want to make some room for committing to something new, right? We want to commit to something new. So let's try this on. So here's Amplify. And the reason I'm talking about Amplify is because this success cycle is the framework of what's inside this membership, which is monthly calls and coaching and community, and there's some content, worksheets, and anything that you need to help you in a lot of different topics. It's not overwhelming. It's designed to take what you're doing and amplify it rather than add to what you're doing, right? You're going to be working at your career anyway, so this helps you work smarter at it. So we talk about this musician success cycle all the time, and it's important for everyone to know where you're at, and you're constantly moving through it. You could be transitioning, but it's really easy to talk to each other and support each other because we can find other people that are in the same phase and really cross promote if that's the phase that you're in. We'll talk about all the different phases right now. So what I want to talk about is this sheet you have to fill out. So we're going to go through the stages, the virtues, the milestones, and the actions for each of these 5 stages, and you're going to get really clear on which one you are. You're going to know. So let's dig in. Are you guys ready? All right. Phase 1 is called learning and determining. The virtues of someone, so the characteristics of someone that's in this phase, is you're exploring the field and what is possible for your career. You're in a skill gathering phase. So maybe you are in a class, you are taking some online programs, you're in music lessons, you're reading a book, you're doing something, right? And while you may feel overwhelmed by the options in front of you, you're excited about following your passion, right? So the milestones, meaning what are the things that you need to kind of check off to know that it's time to move on to phase 2, is that you've learned and implemented a new skill. So maybe you're like, all right, I know that I don't want to be paying for studio time and I want to learn how to produce my own songs. I'm going to take a course. I'm going to try some stuff out, and this is the new skill. Another milestone is that you know where you're going. Oh, sorry. You know what you're going to create and whom you're targeting. So who is your ideal fan? This is what I call the avatar. So you've created that person because that person, an imaginary ideal fan or customer or client, is going to help you make some decisions. And you're clear on your big goal and it lights you up. It's not arbitrary, it's specific, and you are excited about it. It gets you out of bed in the morning. Actions you can take if you are in phase 1 is to define and name your avatar. Really get clear on if you walked into a room with 1,000 clones, it's the same person, and they were going to be the best fan for you. Who are they? Like, how old are they? Where do they live? What's their background? Where do they hang out online? What are their favorite stores? What are their favorite colors? This is who you define, and give them a name. I have names for all of my avatars, and I have 3. I have one for my fans of my music. I have one for musicians like you that are, colleagues and in my Amplify group. And then I have one for composing clients, people that hire me to create music for them. And each of those avatars are different, and they all have different names. Molly and Piper are my favorites. Another action you can take in this phase is to complete the Get Grounded module, which is actually the first module in Amplify that helps you determine where you are. There's also a quiz. As soon as you go, essentially we're going through the Get Grounded module right now in this webinar, but at the end of the module inside, there is a really cool personality quiz to help you solidify where you are in the actual musician success cycle. The third action you can take is defining your champagne win. You guys, this is what I call a goal. This is the way you know to tell your friends to break out the champagne. So if you said, I want more fans, okay, cool. If you get like a follower on Spotify or like someone to follow you on Instagram, like, do we break out the champagne? Probably not, right? But when you have a number attached to it and you're specific enough that people are like, did you do it or did you not do it? We know when to break out the champagne. So that's your champagne win. It's fun, right? So who are my phase 1? If you're like, this is me, you are talking to me, let me know. Just write phase 1 in the chat box because I want to see who are the people like firmly planted in phase 1. And now let's go into phase 2. Phase 2 is creating and making. So this is where you are actually in creation mode. So characteristics of someone here or the virtues, is that you know what you want for your career and you're now in content creation mode. So your muse is hanging around. When I say that, I mean like you're kind of in that flow. You know what I mean? Like when you're creating music, the flow. You want to honor the muse even though you may be itching to start promoting your new creations. And this is an error I see with a lot of people that are actually in phase 2. They're thinking about phase 4, which is promotion. And so it is tricky to stay in your lane because, I did this last year when I was composing my new record Luminary. I was like thinking, ooh, I could reach out to this blog and this blog. And I was only halfway done with the record. I'm starting to research and like, who's the contact at that blog and who's the contact at that playlist? Was that serving my creation process? No, it was actually my form of procrastination to jump around to different phases, but it causes ultimate overwhelm. And that's why we want to know where we are and just stay there. So some milestones to know that you're moving beyond phase 2 is that you've created your core content. So core content to me is like the thing you're going to promote, like a record, or if you're a course creator, your course. So that's the core content, but your complementary content, which is the next thing, a milestone, is the stuff that supports the core content, like a music video, or maybe it's a video ad that you're going to run on Facebook or Instagram. So there's other stuff that we create a ton of stuff. We're not just creating the actual music, but we are creating other artistic elements that go along with our core content. And then the third milestone is that you've documented the elements of your creation process. I can't tell you how grateful I was when I got back from Greece last year. I did a composer residency where I wrote this record, Luminary, and I videoed everything, like walking to my little studio past the goats and crying when I couldn't get the panning right on the mix. And I was like, I'm never going to use this. And I made so many fun videos for my fans. And like, I can't tell you how important it is to document, actually get content from your creation process. So Pose, if I'm saying that right, I see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you're totally fine. We're digging in here. We're figuring out where are we? What phase are we in? So some actions you can take if you're in phase 2 is get feedback on your core content and post it. So what I mean by that, sorry, let's go back there. Get feedback on your core content means get other people to listen to it. And when I say post it, I mean post that you're getting feedback. Post that you're in the process. This is going to help you later on. So you just want to say, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'm creating this thing. You don't want to necessarily post the thing yet, but you want to start talking about it and creating your own buzz. Complete your content checklist. This is different for everyone. I've got a formula for this inside of the Amplify membership, but basically it's what you need to create. So now just turn it into a checklist that you can schedule and get a lot of power around finishing this stuff. And then finish repurposing your content. Rick is a great, great person at taking one piece of content and doing a lot of different stuff with it on social media. And that is something you absolutely want to do. You want to make your content work for you, right? Who are my phase 2s? If you're like, this is me, I am in creation mode, my head is in creation mode, my muse is hanging around, like, right, phase 2, I want to know who my phase 2s are. Phase 3 is preparing and sharing. Now, don't get stuck on the sharing bit. It's not promotion. It's actually creating a team and telling people what you're up to that are going to help you make a difference. So characteristics or virtues of someone in the preparing and sharing phase. You're doing the prep, admin, and brand work needed for the promotion of your creation. So prep is like adding metadata and uploading to your performing rights organization and the copyright office, and that's the admin too, right? Brand work is getting your website and your everything to look like the record or to look like your brand and the music and get it all aligned with who you are and what your music is, right? There's a lot of that stuff. You may feel ready to go, but you're inundated with the tasks required to take the next big step. So these are things you might be feeling if you are in this phase. You've done some mindset work, so you know you're up for the challenge, and you're going to own that you're here. This phase is not the fun phase. It's really not. And we try to skip this. We try to just say, oh, I'll just go straight to promotion, and then when someone asks me for my track or the metadata, I'll just go back and put it in. Enter overwhelm. Hello, we don't want to give ourselves opportunities to let overwhelm in, and that is one of the things we do is skip around the phases. But this one, it's very necessary, laying the foundation for what is next. So some milestones is you've completed the necessary admin work. So this is obvious. Whatever that is for you, maybe it's uploading stuff to Copyright Office or your PRO, whatever, I just said before, you've completed it. You've audited your brand across all sites so everything looks and feels great. Your Facebook headers, Instagram, everything's kind of like aligned. And you have a system in place for research, pitching, and promotion. I'm a big fan of Airtable, which is basically like a Google Doc on steroids, on pretty steroids. And I absolutely love keeping all of the people that I'm going to pitch to right here. And then when I go into pitching, which is the next phase, I have this all ready to go. I can keep track of all the things. You get actually a template inside of Amplify so that you can have this all set up and ready to go, and you just plop in your own data. So actions to take if you're in phase 3 is to finish your brand audit, create your pitching and promotion database, and define and complete your prep checklist. Similar to the creation checklist, you have this checklist. Who are my threes? Keisha, finishing up phase 3. Yeah, you can definitely feel like you're on one end or the other. Like, right? This is a cycle. It's not blocks. It's not cement blocks. So yeah, phase 4 is pitching and promoting. We've been talking about this a lot. I think some people, if you're not a fan of the admin stuff, this seems way more exciting, especially if you're a people person. You get to have conversations, even over email. So the virtues of someone in this phase are you are now ready to get your art, whatever you created, whether it's a record or a course or art, into the world. You're in marketing mode, so you've got that hat on, so you've got some momentum and you can start to feel it, but you also might be a little nervous as reviews start coming in, because what's going to kick in there? What little voice in the back of our mind? I'm not good enough. What if they don't like it? What if they don't like me? You know, those voices can kind of kick in right here. This phase is where I see a lot of people say, I sent out one pitch. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to write my next record. And they skip back to phase 2. They don't get any better at anything. They just want to keep going, bounce back and forth between 2 and 4. So we don't want to do that here. We want to sit here. We want to really own this pitching process. It's so important. So milestones you can do here is you've been able, so the milestones are not the action, sorry. The milestones are the things you have done and you know, okay, I've done these things. I'm ready to move on to phase 5. So you've pitched with confidence. You've gotten responses. You've followed up. You've done the things. You're promoting on social and via email. So you've got that all handled. And you're engaging in cross-promotional campaigns. So the actions you can take here is make your promotional schedule. Promotion can get out of hand, overwhelming if you don't have it scheduled out. You're sending weekly pitches and follow-ups. It's something I like to just do 1 day a week of sending pitches and 1 day a week of doing follow-ups. It helps keep you sane and putting yourself in the mindset to deal with potential no's and negotiations and things like that, rather than having to deal with that energetically every day. And set up 5 cross promotions. This is sort of the sweet spot for me. I know that I'm kind of ready to move out of phase 4 when I've done cross promotions with other artists, with companies, with brands, and we've sort of let that relationship run its course. So before we do that, who are my phase 4 people? Who's like, I've made my thing, I'm ready to promote it, I'm in promotion mode. Let me see phase 4 there. So, we got to go to phase 5, which is monetizing and maintaining. So just so you know, this is not necessarily all about making money, but it is a part of it. So let's talk about the virtues. The characteristics of someone in phase 5 is that you've launched and promoted your art for sure, and you're making money off of your creativity. So it doesn't need to be a lot of money. We'll talk about this in a second. And you're ready to invest it back into your career and are possibly looking to scale and grow. And you're proud of the work you're done, and you may be thinking, what now? And lastly, you're also responding to incoming gigs and opportunities. So you've gotten to a point where now you can say yes to things. So this is a little less you have to put yourself out there and a little more of let the stuff come in. So here's the thing. If you made your first CD and you did all the phases and you are now selling it in the sense that one person knows that you created it, you went through phase 2, was able to find it on your website or somewhere, phase 3, the setup, and heard about it because you pitched it or promoted it well enough, phase 4, and then bought it for $9, boom, you're in phase 5, you made some money, right? And yeah, you may not be like, okay, I want to invest $9 back into my career, but that's the idea of the energy of the mindset behind that, if that makes sense. So let's go into the milestones. So some of the milestones to know that you're actually ready to move upwards into phase 1 is you collected some income and you're planning on reinvesting, and it doesn't necessarily need to be reinvesting, but you're ready to learn a new skill and you want to scale. So you want to do more of what you've done. You figured out some things that have worked and you want to do more of that. So you want to scale your career while you're responding to new work coming in. And you're engaged with your fans and clients, and you're optimizing phases 1 through 4. So you can go back and tweak a couple of these things, but we're never going to just do a full, let's jump back into 3 and hang out there for ages. We're always tweaking something in all of these, right? Again, we're fluid. We've got to be flexible with this kind of career. actions you can take if you're in phase 5 is to set up your Welcome, Nurture, and Rise email series if you hadn't already. If you're in my Rock Your Email List course, you know what I'm talking about. But essentially a welcome series so people know what they're going to get when they join your mailing list, and that you can monetize it later in a really authentic way. Attending the Unlock and Soundbite sessions. So these are basically coaching and community sessions, live coaching on a Zoom call with me in Amplify. So if you're in Amplify, that's a huge way to really shift your mindset around creating abundance for yourself, whether it's more gigs or actually more money. It doesn't necessarily need to be money. I know that's a lot of people's goal. It doesn't need to be everyone's goal. This phase is about abundance. And now enroll in professional development. So this is where you're like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to take a class, learn something new, even just read a book. That's your indication. If you're getting the itch for new knowledge, that you're looking to go upwards in that spiral to phase 1. And I don't want to say back to phase 1 because we're not repeating over anything. We just get to be masterful at this cycle. I've gone through this musician success cycle probably 10 times in my career. Right now, I'm actually full on in the tail end of phase 4. I've got this record I'm promoting. I'm relaunching this Amplify group. It's available this week only. I've got this choral piece with Martin Luther King's goddaughter singing on it. I've got these things that are in let's get it out there into the world mode, right? So, moving forward, let's talk about who the success cycle has worked for. Okay? This is important. So there are people that this won't work for. And there's very specific reasons why. So, oh wait, I didn't ask who's in phase 5. Who are my 5 peoples? Who are my 5s? Give me some 5s. Leslie, I see you're in 4, and Anita's in phase 4. Sarah, mix of 2 and 3. I wonder if that's a transition. Interesting. So yeah, who are my phase 5? Phase 5 is it's oftentimes a fairly quick phase, by the way. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. So anyway, so who this has worked for is a musician who is established with an existing following. You're ready to grow. You have an existing catalog of music, ready to do more stuff with it. You'd like to start monetizing your music and or growing your fan base. So you're looking for growth. And you'd like to find other streams of income besides touring. So you're looking to diversify, right? So let me talk about who this is not for. So the success cycle, Amplify, generally just being around me, this doesn't work for. It's not for tire kickers. Tire kickers are people who think and say that they are interested in something and are not actually interested. They don't actually want movement. They don't want to change, and they can fool you. So, but I'm not easily fooled. I see you, tire kicker. It's not for money magicians. So money magicians are people that want to pour money into something and see it come back quickly. There are a lot of programs and courses and things to help people learn how to do Facebook ads. And that is totally fine, where you're like, I just want to put money into this and have this work and grow my fan base or my Spotify or my Instagram really fast. That's a great tactic, but those courses and memberships and all that stuff, they are just looking at a sliver of the phase 5 pie, not the total musician. So if you are like, this is the only thing I'm interested in, you're not going to be able to do it in a sustainable way without looking at all of who you are and what's going on in your life. But this is also not a get rich quick thing. So I'm not saying that it's bad to learn about Facebook ads or anything like that, but it's definitely not the total strategy. And I think there's some myths out there that it could be. So there's that. It's also not for Mr. and Mrs. Know-it-alls. It's just not. I know we love Miss Mary Poppins, but you've got to be coachable. Coachable to me means willing to try another idea on for the time being. Like when I asked earlier on if you guys would all put your old beliefs that you have to wear all the hats and you have to be busy and you have to work hard, and I asked you to put that aside, and then you're all like, yeah, sure, no problem. That's you being coachable and just trying this idea on for a temporary amount of time. It also means giving up the need to be right, which is really hard to do sometimes, because you can't be right and grow. Because if you're right about everything right now, if you're like, I'm right, everything's great, nothing's going to change. You got to be willing. It's a willingness, right? So it's kind of a way of being, right? We get a little woo-woo here. So anyway, so Amplify is not for those people. So after being behind the scenes for 12 years, and I discovered that, and I remember I said this before, there's an easier path to growing music. It doesn't have to be stressful. And with clarity and strategy, it can be very profitable. That's because I figured out where I am and I focus in on where I am and I do the work in front of me. I was only able to see my newest record, my 5th record, get on the charts on Amazon and iTunes because I focused. I was so tempted to be like, all right, this music came really easily to me. I should make more. And I got some really great coaching that was like, hang out in this phase. So I want to talk about a couple other people this worked for. So Robin says, my music career will never be stagnant. And I think that's such a really, really great point. It's like, wait, we're going around in a circle. We're doing these 5 phases over and over again, but we're not. We're doing them differently every single time. And in Amplify, you get monthly content on a theme that will keep you also not stagnant. And then you can, wherever you are in the musician cycle, you're looking at this content. So Robin said that he was jealous of all these other musicians and super overwhelmed. And then he ended up in this group finding self-worth and declaring an inspired, achievable goal with actions to take today. So he wants to play arenas in 7 years. And I love that. I mean, if you were 19 and knew with clarity what you wanted to do you think you'd get it done? Oh, yes, jealous. I'm jealous of you, Robin. Charmin says, I know what I need to do and I'm evolving. I have a powerful backbone in the Amplify community. So Charmin took so many, she's in like everyone's courses, like all the courses, but she never finishes them. Who are my never finishers? But in Amplify, we make sure that people who have made investments are actually getting a return on their investment. So if your goal is like, hey, I have all these courses and I want to finish it, we say, okay, by when? And how many modules are you doing this weekly? We help you get the things done and make money off the things you've already paid for. It's kind of cool. Ariel came into the group, in the Amplify group. We have this awesome Facebook group. And she's like, you guys, my new record is in this contest. Would you go vote for it? And we got her to rank higher than Phoebe Bridgers and Neil Young in this Americana Highway's Best New Album contest. Like, how cool is that community? Like, we show up. You guys, Amplify members, show up. Josh was quarantining alone, and he said that he felt really good making progress in the midst of chaos, and that he can reach the dream of being a full-time musician and artistic collaborator and not sacrifice my authentic self. I need this community. Josh has been doing like awesome stuff here. And then Keisha, she said, without this group, I wouldn't have been able to meet such a diverse group of musicians who are trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do, which is grow their careers and pursue their passion. Like, how often are you surrounded by people that are supporting your passion rather than challenging it? Like, don't we always get challenged by people like our uncles at Thanksgiving, although maybe they won't show up anymore? It's always like, we're always explaining ourselves. But it's such a gift to be surrounded by people that are like, yeah, no, I totally get that you want to play arenas in 7 years. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, who does that? We do. You guys, we do. Oh, I'm also a case study for Amplify because in a single exercise that we did during one of our calls, we did this thing called the frog exercise, which is we take 15 minutes and we do the one task that we've moved around our calendars that we don't want to do, but we know will make a difference. So for me, in that 15 minutes, I wrote an email to Billboard to say, hey, do you have an indie rate for your ads? And I turned that email, the response, into an email to my fans. And then within 48 hours, they raised $5,000 so I could put that ad in the Grammy Preview Billboard magazine issue. I do the work with you. Yes, I'm leading this community, but I am a case study. And I know that any successes I have are now 100% because of this group. So there you go. All right, so let's talk about what's inside Amplify. You guys, in the little cell phone there, that's the quiz. It's so awesome. There's a lot of really great content. It's not overwhelming. It's really well organized. Rick said I'm an organizational queen, and I kind of want to own that. So what there is there are 6 core modules, meaning every month, for every 6 months, it changes. But each month you get a new module. I'm just throwing random values on this, but I feel like if I were to get content every month for the entire year, which is like a video and worksheet that's going to like support my career, I would call it around $600. You also get the past 4 years of live calls, but they are searchable. So if you're like, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, I'd love to hear a conversation, you can go back into the Amplify archives and go find yourself probably 10 calls about overwhelm. We talk about overwhelm and kicking overwhelm's butt all the time. You also get weekly coaching calls with Cheryl, with me. That's me. I am actually a career coach. I am very, very good at listening for what you want, even if you don't know what that is, and then obsessing over you getting it. These calls are priceless. I just decided to call them priceless. So you also get the exclusive Amplify discussion group on Facebook, which is one of my happiest places to be on the internet. And you get a Power Up Pod. This is your accountability group that you get for as long as you're in Amplify, as long as you stay. By the way, you can get it for the month or get it for the year. But every 6 months, the Power Up Pods change. It's your accountability group. These are the people that are going to like totally dance with you and have the champagne and celebrate your wins and help you get unstuck. And let's face it, mastermind groups that meet like once a month are like in the world of $10,000. It's so stupid. So I'm just going to call this priceless too, because y'all, why not? So there you go. What else we got? So we've got the monthly performance opportunity. I didn't mention this in the last nights, and I was like, oh my God, that's so important. Every month we end on a Friday with a concert, the In the Key concert series. We've been doing it weekly. Now it's going to go monthly. And it's only people that are in Amplify. And you perform to all of our audiences. And it's a little interview with me. And then you perform a song. And we do about 3 to 4 artists in an hour. And it is it's just darling. And people love this concert series. And it's going to be huge. So you get to do that. So Susan is so great. She's like, to sort out and deal with the things that hold me back and to get past these blocks is priceless. It's really sweet. Yeah, you guys, I'm a big fan of dealing with blocks. Like, what is in your way? What is stopping you from having the life you want? Period. End of story. Like, that is my happy place when we're talking about that. Chrissy says, my favorite part is the real-time conversations with the video calls. Yep, and Catherine's agreeing. This is all coming from our community. And then Harriet said, I have no doubt that I've learned so much from the level of musicianship and professionalism in the group. Yeah, there's a lot of amazing musicians, but the generosity of spirit and positivity is unprecedented. I love that. So let me just show you what the schedule is. So when you're in Amplify, when you get in, you get a login where you can access the archives. You get your Get Grounded videos, which are basically walking you through all the the phases of the musician success cycle. You get the quiz, and that unlocks access to the calendar, access to this group. So here's the schedule. Week 1, it's monthly. So every month we do basically the same thing. But in the beginning of week 1, the new monthly module is released, and there are a bunch of different topics that we choose for each month, depending on a variety of things. Later in that week, on a Thursday, we have the Amplify at 5, which is 5 o'clock Eastern time. It's a live Q&A. You bring literally any question you've got around your music career, around what phase you're in. It's a tech question, whatever it is. You submit the question through a little form in your back end, and we answer these questions. It's also a chance to touch base with your community, celebrate some wins, set your goals for the month. We get into breakout rooms on Zoom, and it's super fun. In week 2, we have the Unlock the Block sessions. These are hot seat coaching calls. So it's one-on-one coaching where you get to watch me coach someone else through their block. And they're so inspiring. We also get into breakout rooms here. Later in that week, we have a soundbite session. These are usually lessons, or they might be a guest lecturer. And again, a community element of breakout rooms. Week 3 is when you're working and you'll create we have a structure that will support you, but you meet with your Power Up Pod, and it's implementation week. This is where you do the work that we declared in week 1 that you're going to do. And you get to crank. Week 4, we come back and we celebrate the wins, and we share our goals, and we get on this community call, another soundbite session. And then lastly, we end the week on Friday with our In the Key concert series, where it's interviewing and performing with you. So let me just share you a couple topics that we've got. Goal setting, brand alignment, generating income, pitching, partnerships, engagement, building community, personal growth, mindset, licensing, promotion, time management, and releasing music. So these are the different monthly topics where we'll have some focused conversations around this stuff. But at any given time, we're always working on whatever it is that you need. The group is designed for you to work smarter, and it's not designed to stress you out. So I hope that makes sense. So what you're going to get, here's all the stuff you're going to get. My pricing is like, it's $2,400. Oh, wait, but I'm going to throw in the perfect pitch. You guys, the perfect pitch is like, I sell it for $47. It's so dumb that I do, because literally everyone that does it like goes from making $500 a month to $3,000 a month. My one of the students, Tim, just emailed me that he's like, oh, I did one pitch and now I'm making $3,000 from this gig that I normally was making $500. This is a bonus that's going to come with everyone that gets into Amplify, because we do so much pitching. I just want you to have it. So coming in for a month, like, it's already worth it, right? So this comes with templates for pitching venues, supervisors, playlists, and more. We just dive into the framework of crafting a world-class pitch. So not only do you not hear crickets, right? Who hates my crickets? Who hates crickets? But you get a yes, right? It's the worst thing when you send an email and you're like, did they get it? Do they not like me? I guess it didn't work. So we're just like, get rid of that, right? Just get rid of it. The bonus number 2 when you sign up is that you will get a free ticket to Amplify Live. This is in New York. Well, ideally, then it's going to be sort of towards the end of the year, but it's an in New York or virtual ticket, 2-day event with me. It will be the most productive days you have all year. That's all I'm going to say about that. Every quarter, I'm going to be doing a Get It Done day, which is basically 9 to 5, a live call where you are working on the stuff you need to be working on, but we're working on it together, and you are completely supported in anywhere you get stopped. Those are $500 a day, so you get 4 of those a year. And so this is all the stuff you're going to get with the bonuses. It's like $6,000. But you know what? Let's talk about Catherine. Catherine says, I successfully completed my fan funding campaign and hit 116% of my goal. She did this 2 months ago in the middle of a pandemic when we were meeting every single day. Because this used to be a group that met once a month. And then we went to every single day, every single weekday during the pandemic for 18 weeks. And now we're settling into this new structure, which I'm really excited about, to give a little space to do some more work. But Catherine nailed it. And then Harriet started Facebook Lives, and she's now getting, like, look at this, hundreds of comments, 242 comments after a day. This was last week. And she says, it is a beast. So she got so much support from this community because other people had been doing Facebook Lives. We share what was working and what was not. So Pearl got a new patron within 20 minutes of pitching to her email list using the template from the pitching that you get. I mean, hello, that's money right there. Recurring revenue. Love it. So what is a thriving music career? Because that's what we do. We only have thriving music careers in Amplify. And when I hear of someone not thriving, you guys, I come in and help out. And I put a little wedge in that. So we're all kind of thriving. And thriving sometimes means rest. You guys, this isn't an exhausting group. This is a what do you need right now, and let's take actions to get it. So what's a thriving career worth to you? Are you guys seeing why people pay me a lot of money for coaching? I don't want a coaching career. I have my own music career. I have a record. I'm trying to get a Grammy nomination. I'm working with these choirs. I have a musical out. Like, I have a lot of stuff, but I love doing this work, and that's why I do it in this group, because I know people here are like me, and I want to surround myself. You know that quote, you are the average of the 5 people you're surrounded by? So you want to be surrounded by people that are also like, yes, let's grow, let's level up together, let's do this. So do you get that, like, 24/7 access to me in a community is a really good deal if it was like $600? But here's the thing, you're gonna get all this stuff, for $37. So it's less than a tank of gas, and honestly, how much are you driving anyway? And you can save $121 if you want to pay annually. If you're like, I'm in a music career for the long haul, what's going to be the thing that supports me consistently that I can keep coming back to and use as a bouncing off point? So if you're like, yep, that's me, save yourself some money, get in annually, and boom, you're done, handled. So there's a button below this video that you can click on, and I would be happy to invite you in. There's an early bird thing too that if you get into by tonight, you get to be on an early bird call tomorrow, which is our normal Tuesday call, so you can actually get in and start your Amplify experience tomorrow. The cart's only open until Thursday, just so you guys know. Okay, so just so you know, you can absolutely cancel at any time. I don't ever do refunds, but because you can cancel at any time, you stay a member until the next payment is due, or you can also transfer your membership to another musician if you're like, I can't do it for whatever reason. You also will get locked in at this price, which is the lowest price it will ever be. I only open enrollment twice a year, and that's because I want to focus in on the members that are there. I don't want to be promoting this all the time. So twice a year, enrollment ends this Thursday night. And every time I open enrollment, the price will go up. So you get in now, you get locked in. Your price won't change when the price goes up later. The early bird bonus is tomorrow. We're having that new member meetup. I jumped the gun here, but get your collaborating, networking, cross-promotion, friendly face, new friend, fun times game on. And sometimes we do play games and it's hilarious, but you just got to get in by tonight at midnight Eastern time. So, yeah, I think that this is, you want to just go hit that button below. So go do that. What happens when you get in? So first of all, whatever the boost is that you need, you get it. How does that happen? Well, I'll tell you, you're going to get an immediate win because when you get in and you've done your quiz, you get access to the Facebook group where you come in and you say, here's what phase I'm in. Here's what I want. Maybe it's to sign up for your mailing list. Maybe it's to follow you on Spotify. And guess what? The group shows up. Like you're going to have instant new subscribers, instant new plays, instant new followers, whatever it is that you want right now. We already, like the second you get in, you practice getting that clarity and seeing results when you are clear. It kind of feels really awesome. This morning, because we had a bunch of people sign up last night, this morning I was signing up on email lists and I was listening to all sorts of music that's new to me on Spotify because that's what people were asking for in the group. It was so awesome. So that's what happens as soon as you get in, you immediately get a boost. Like, how cool is that? So really quick, let me just share a couple more quick stories that I love. In 1 month, Chrissy, who, God bless her, she is quarantining solo alone for months. She wrote and recorded 17 videos, set up 2 single releases, and submitted for the Tiny Desk concert and set up her welcome series. Like, she was so motivated by this community and not alone, which was just remarkable, right? Also, Shanti was tackling all the technology. We help each other out. We show up when someone's like, I don't understand how to. It's like you can't even finish your sentence before people are like, oh, I got you, boo. It's so great. Charmin says that she loves knowing that instruction is cutting edge because I am always taking courses and improving her own, improving my skills, yes, and passing it on to you. It's just like really, really great. So there's all sorts of, oh, we also get snarky. Like here where Wanda's like, I'm staying with this for the long haul. And then Harriet's like, you better, or I might have to cross the border to have a word with you. Like snark masters over there. But they're all really so cute, aren't they? I love it so much. So here you go. Will you join us? This is my actual invitation to you. Will you join? That's the question. I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but I would be so honored to have you in. Like absolutely so honored. So I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to bring Rick back on here, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you so much for your listening and for engaging with me. And let's grab Rick.
Good job.
Hey.
Good job.
Thanks.
We've got a great group of questions too. So I'm going to jump right in. Some of you who are coming in, congratulations. We'll recognize you here in a second. But Guy says, I'm not a performer. I'm a radio host. Guy, that was my background for 15 years before I started managing Taylor. I want to still build my platform and community. Would this program still work for me?
Yeah. I love that you're a radio promoter. We have a lot of people that are, here's the thing, as a radio promoter, you're in the space of you have to generate. You see, it's not like a day job where you show up and someone tells you what to do and then you get a check. Like you're not going to get results unless you're the person generating those results.
He's a host, actually, not a promoter. He's a radio host. He's a
radio host. I heard the word promoter. Got it. A radio host. Yeah. So you're creating content every day. Like you have to be, you're in that space. So the thing is, it's not about what you do. And even in the success cycle, it's not about the projects. Like, oh, I'm in phase 1 with one project. And it's really zooming out and being like, where am I energetically? What kind of, and right now, yes, I'm in phase 5 for some things and 1 for others. But like who I am and what I'm feeling is I'm in that phase 4 of like, I'm trying to get some stuff out there. So if you're a radio host and you're in constant creation mode and you're looking for inspiration and you've got goals that you're setting, like I need to get this done by the end of the week. Like that's the work that we do is we figure out what it is you want and then we go get it. So I would say I would love to have a radio host inside this group. We do have people that are authors, actors. We have some yoga instructors. Everyone has some sort of creative side thing. I think that is the baseline, that there is creativity. And
I think that's what's key too, is that these communities are amazing for creatives. It's funny. In my social media course, I have 2 real estate agents from Nashville because they want to be better online. They want that accountability. And I think the thing that I loved most, of what I heard most about with Amplify, is this is accountability. This is not only Cheryl, but it's a group of very hungry creatives that are all holding each other accountable and helping each other as well. So, Guy, I think it'd be a great position for you. So, Pose, it says, any advice on where to focus my energy to develop my online presence? I just spent the last 2 weeks creating content, but I'm not sure how and where to release it. Any strategies you'd recommend? And then as a follow-up to that, also, do you think that TikTok is the new go-to for musicians? I've been doing Insta for a little bit, but didn't quite figure out yet how to stand out there. Should I try to switch my energy focus to TikTok?
Yeah, totally. I actually took, because every month I'm always in a program. And 3 months ago, I took a TikTok class. Actually took 2 because I saw a free challenge and then I did the upsell for $75. So I've learned a lot about TikTok. And I'm not going to talk about TikTok right now because I still feel like the platform is constantly changing. But what it sounds like to me, if you said I created content 2 weeks ago, it sounds like you're trying to jump the gun and get yourself into like the later stages of phase 4. And I would assert that there's some stuff you haven't done yet. And if you want to go out and get the music out there, that's what phase 4 is, right? Promoting and pitching is getting your stuff out there. I would want to see, are all of your websites and Facebook headers and all that stuff aligned and ready? Is your website very clear and branded for the music and whatever you have created? Is the stuff that you created just 2 weeks ago actually ready to get out there? If your head is in phase 4, you're going to start to feel that overwhelm and you're going to see the to-do list kind of swirling around. So I would assert that you should get into Amplify, do the quiz and see where you actually are, and then own where you are and do the tasks and take the actions in that particular phase.
And don't make the same mistake that 99% of musicians make, which is chasing the new shiniest object.
Yep.
Because each platform speaks its own different language. And if you saw Cheryl and I on the virtual summit that we were on, I hope you would go at least watch our free resources because we cover a lot of that stuff in there. So it sounds like you could use some organizational help because it seems like you're chasing, and that's what Amplify would be able to bring to you. And by the way, guys, Amplify is not my course. I just believe in what it is that Cheryl's doing. So I'm excited because what I'm listening as we're filling out the sheets, it's pretty fill in the blank going, oh crap, that's me. I need this. Oh crap, that's me. I need this. Oh my gosh, I so lack here. I need this. So go back and look at your cycle because the cycle is going to tell you. And I saw a lot of people commenting when they said, oh, I'm in phase 2 and I'm in phase 1 and I'm in phase 3. So these worksheets aren't just so you get writer's cramp. They're to really help justify where you're at right now.
Yeah.
So that Cheryl can give you the roadmap. That's why it's called the 5-step roadmap, not step 1, I graduate. Okay, I'll just stick 1 through 4. I'm just going to go right to 5. It doesn't
totally.
work.
We never graduate. We keep you never master something the first time through. You keep getting better and better and better at it. And you're like, oh, I should have done my website differently. Okay, cool. Next time around. No stress, right? It's so funny because we got some people in and one person just messaged this morning saying that because you get that worksheet that you guys have been filling out, you actually get that totally filled out from me when you join Amplify. And someone made it the background on her screen. So it's like her screensaver. So she sees it every time to remind herself.
And for whatever reason, my mouse has stopped working.
Oh.
So if you can scroll down, I know Igor has a question.
Yeah, I can actually see that. Do you need me to read it?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. Igor says, I need to make all the email sequences automated and get the crowdfunding campaign going. Do I have access to these topics right away if I join the community? Yeah, in the archives, we talked a ton about crowdfunding. I talk about email all the time. I literally can't help myself because I created a course on email. And I would also say, is that this thing actually the thing that you need to do? We word things like we've prioritized and we figured it out what we need to do. And we say it with so much angst, like I need to do this. Where are you? What phase are you at? Do you actually, you might need to, that might be the thing to do. But yes, so you absolutely have access. There are a lot of stuff in the archives, the Amplify archives that you get access to. And every call, if that's something that you're dealing with or a question that you have, that's something you can bring to the breakout rooms, to the Q&As. So we're always dealing with whatever you're dealing with. So my answer is yes.
Also, tell them about the bonus. Those that just stuck around, they stuck around. Tell them about the bonus.
The bonus is a a cheat sheet for live streams. So anyone that went from touring and you lost all your gigs and you're like, how do I make the most of my live streams? There is a document below, and it looks just like the documents that you get all the time in Amplify. So you're actually getting a sneak peek into some of the content and see how thorough that document is. It's called the live stream cheat sheet, and it talks about live streaming on Instagram, live streaming on Facebook, different resources in there. So go download that because you stayed till the end of the presentation. Thank you. And should we tell them what the prize was for?
Yeah, we could do that, and we could announce the winners too. Robin's picked the winners. So
we'll get to all your questions. We promise. I'm not going anywhere. I will be here all
and
night.
I think we're almost through all the questions. So this is
cool.
a perfect time for that. But so what Cheryl and I talked about the other day when we were sitting here and we were trying to come up with prizes. And I said, you know what? I said, everybody hits me up every day wanting to pay me because they look at me as an influencer to share their stuff or their message on my Instagram story. And I said, why don't we do that here? Because everyone here should have music that's up on Spotify. And why don't we share one of their songs? You guys get to pick the song, whoever is the winner, and we will share it on our Instagram stories and give you access to our audience. I've got over 40,000 followers on Instagram. So the winners are Lola Parks and Nida. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If you will DM us, my Instagram is @RickBarkerMusic, and Cheryl, give them yours.
Yeah, I'm at CBE Music and also In the Key of Success, whichever one you're on. But CBE Music is my personal one.
And just let us know what song you want us to promote. You can do it at any time. I know the winner last night was like, I'm going to sit on that for a couple of days. I'm going to look at my catalog, and I'm going to pick the best day of the week, and I'm going to pick the right hour, whatever it is. It's your prize. You won it. So congratulations to you there for that. Also want to welcome the newest members of Amplify. Welcome to you. And we'll go ahead and look real quick to see if we got all the stuff.
Any questions? So my question for you, if you're still hanging out here, I know that you see something for yourself. So my question is, if you haven't joined yet, what's stopping you? I actually really want to know. I'm curious. What's stopping you?
Not the price.
It's not the price.
This is a business. If you can't justify $37 a month for coaching and support in your business, it might not be the right business for you because you must make investments into your business. So it's definitely not the price. That's what I said when you called and asked me if I would host this with you. I'm like, yeah, duh. Look at this. It's like it made all the sense in the world for me, and it's just another great perspective to have.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so it's not the price.
What's
I'm wondering,
that belief?
Yeah, is it time? And so you're looking at it like throughout the whole month. It's actually if you attend everything live. And by the way, everything's recorded. So if you can't attend it live, you can watch it back. So if you can attend it, like it's 4 hours where you get tons of motivation and questions answered, all those things. So it's not time because we've got 4 hours. And you're actually, a lot of people that are in Amplify say that they've gotten more time because they've been able to work so much more efficiently. And that is 100% my goal. And it's one of the things that I really pride myself in. My husband keeps saying, you have like 34 hours in a day. And I'm like, yeah, I just went to the time store and I bought more hours. Duh. Like, hello. So that's what we do. We go to the time store together and we get more time. So it's not time, it's not money. So I know that if you're a musician in it for the long haul, you belong in this group. So please go
now,
join.
You're closing doors when?
Thursday night, midnight Eastern Standard Time. And then they open up again in January-ish.
Okay. So imagine where you would be in January if you go ahead and start taking action now and get this organized. And here's the one thing that I want all of you to realize is that right now, the world slowed down. Take advantage of that opportunity. Take advantage. I'm going to probably get some people pissed here, that you're not at concerts every night, that you're not having a tour right now, that you're not at sporting events, that you're not eating dinner out every night. There's a lot of time that you have right now. The problem is, respectfully, most of you don't know what to do with your time because of lack of organization.
Well, Mike says here, time to dive in. Mike says he's got a lot going on. I've heard that before, and I totally get that you've got a lot going on. Just the worksheets alone and one Q&A session, it's gonna shift something for you. and you show up and be like, I'm really stressed, I got a lot going on, I don't know how I can take on a 4 hour a month thing or even 1 hour, and I would say, okay, cool, let's get you in a hot seat, because that's your thing to handle. You could handle that.
Yeah.
And also, Pose, you literally barely anyone that says I can barely pay my daily expenses, let's handle that. Like,
well, that's
people,
the thing. And I'm going to make a challenge right now, because Pose, I've got a free webinar that people have taken that are making $400 a week right now doing live. So there is free resources out there.
Yep.
The problem is you have to use the resources. Nothing's magically going to appear. So my challenge to you is to get your act together, so that when she opens this back up in January, that you're in a position to take advantage of it, because money's not going to magically show up at your van.
Yeah.
You say you're a van lifer, you're living in your van. If
I
you
love
have
that, by the way.
Capacity to be on this webinar, you have the webinar capacity to be able to put up a virtual tip jar to start making money. You just have to use the tool. So there's something a little bit more there. So I'm going to challenge you right now that you're the first person beating down her door in January, because you finally put into action. You can't keep attending these things and not doing the work. And that's a disease in itself.
That's the tire kicker example. Someone that shows up to all the free things but isn't ready to actually invest. So I'm going to call you.
Somebody else on here, because one of my clients is here and he's shown up 2 days in a row, and he should have taken today to be doing. He's wanting to grow his socials. Well, you're not going to grow it sitting on a webinar if you've already seen the webinar. You were giving the opportunity. So at some point, you guys got to get it together, because we're doing everything we can to help you, but we're trying to teach you how to fish. And that's the thing that makes me laugh right now, is that it's like, okay, wait a minute. You've got the tools already. Some of you have already paid thousands of dollars for these tools, but you're still showing up to webinars with the same setbacks that the solutions are in the tools that you purchased.
Yeah, so totally. That's what we're doing in Amplify. It's like, oh, you've already spent the money. Cool. Oh, I love this. So Pose, if you say, I wish you guys could see what I've been doing in the previous week. The thing is, it doesn't matter what you've been doing. What's the result today? The result today is you're like, $37 is hard to get a month's worth of this kind of coach. This is what you get. Like, I've got guests like Rick, people coming in and like putting you in hot seats. Oh yeah, Mike's like, oh, hot seats. Mike gets it. Mike sees it.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Like the money conversation is not, it's not here. And you guys, we talk about money so much in Amplify, because, and I'm very, very transparent about money, because it's a big block for a lot of people. And so we transform that. And also everyone in the Amplify group, like, we're laughing right now. We actually, this is going to be, you're going to see this Facebook post. We're laughing because someone was on a webinar, music industry webinar a couple of days ago. And she said that people were like, hey, it's probably a good time to start doing some work. And she's like, wait, what? We started this in Amplify back in March. Like, people were cranking and like doing Facebook Lives and like performing and cross promoting. Like, people were showing up on other members' Facebook Lives and doing like dual shows and duet shows and all this stuff. So we've been cranking and making money during the pandemic. And I absolutely believe that you get in one hot seat with me, we're going to transform that. And that this is your stuff that you've been dealing with, whatever story you've got around it. Oh, by the way, you also get motivation from Enzo, who happened to be lying at my feet.
It all right there.
He loves you guys. So Pose, I see you. Get yourself in this group now. I don't want you to wait till January, because I don't want you suffering for another 6 months. No suffering. There's no suffering in Amplify. None. So let's get that handled. I want to get that handled with you, and I think that we can do that. So,
well, DM Cheryl and show her what you've been doing. You said I'll DM you on Insta, so show her, because if you were doing what others are doing with the same free resources, that would not be an issue today. We would be congratulating you for being an Amplify right now. So
here's the thing.
Challenge you to do the work.
I'm sorry, Rick. Sorry. I love that Rick said to DM me, and anyone can always DM me anything.
DM you on Insta.
No, I know, but I don't want to hear what you've been doing. I want to hear what you got. What you have, what you want. You have what you want. So there might be some like, I love being a starving artist thing going on, self-sabotage. We'll handle it. We're gonna handle it. I see you. This isn't a doing thing. This is about who you're being and what's going on in your head.
Didn't you say someone could come in for a month, and if they're not happy, they could leave? They don't need to get locked down for a year. So come in for a month.
Yeah, it's monthly or yearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ban says monthly 323 for 12 would be really helpful. Yeah, that's totally an option.
What up, Matt? Matt picked up Amplify. Good job, buddy.
Matt, nice, you
Matt's a
guys.
doer. You'll love Matt. Matt's in my group.
Matt, awesome.
Yeah,
Angela is
Matt,
saying, "Oh my God, a pup." Yeah, you guys, this is our new rescue. He just turned 1 last week, and he's like the sweetest thing. And we actually, you know that the Power Up Pod is your accountability group in Amplify. You get put into a group with 5 people that are in your phase. And if you think about it, Power Up Pod, the acronym is PUP. So guess who is the mascot for your Power Up Pod? There's a lot of Enzo time. Enzo just loves musicians who are willing to grow and change. And maybe, oh, Angela just signed up. Yay, Guy. Maybe we don't want to change. Maybe there's something that we like about what we've got going on, and that's okay. Okay, you're being
another question real quick.
Yeah.
So is it possible to start monthly and switch yearly?
Yes, I will make that happen. That was something that's not an option on the website, but if you Pose, you go busk for a couple hours and make $40. There you go. Boom.
That's the fire that got lit for you today, buddy. That's
what you do.
I respect. Yes.
Mad respect. Yes. Enzo is like so excited. He is licking my ears, which is actually really gross.
Not Willie. All right. So listen, we want to be respectful of your time. Thank you guys for joining us for this encore presentation. Make sure that you download the bonus for being here right now. If you got caught up in the Q&A and forgot that Cheryl put a bonus down there for you, the winners of the contest, please DM us so that we can share your music across the platform. Welcome to the newest members. It's been so much fun. And Cheryl, I appreciate you as always. And now I got to go hug my pup.
Oh, go hug your pup. Thanks so much, Rick. You've been amazing. I'll remove Rick there, and I'm just going to say a quick goodbye. Thank you, everyone, so much for your listening, for letting me dig. I just dug in with people. This is what it's like. You know, you say, hey, I don't know. I hear through the BS, which is a really, really, really good thing for you. So I'm here for you. I'm excited about this group. The people in it are extraordinary. Okay, Enzo, enough. And I'm so glad that we got to do this encore. And let's see. You said you're closing on Thursday. If you enter, you're allowed to exit. Yeah, you can cancel anytime. So there you go. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a really, really great, fantastic, motivated week. And I cannot thank you enough for being here. And my last invitation to you, will you go sign up for Amplify and join me? We have a call tomorrow. So I want you on that call. All right. I will see you later. Thanks so much, everybody.